People leave their job for travel. I was fired from my job because I was traveling too much. So my boss said, I love the way you travel. I think you should travel more. People are finishing India in 2 years. I did want to do that. Even during the journey, I had no idea what I am going through, what this journey means. I see many travel vloggers. They travel across the world. They don't travel in India. They travel across the world. Then they come back and discover something new in India, and they're surprised. Going back 20 years back in time. So I love that state. How far is the capital of Portugal from the capital of Spain? It was just 4 or 5 hours away. I was like, what the hell? Because in India, even if we go from Dibrugarh to Kanyakumari, we'll take 72 hours by train. Feel more blessed. I have been able to see the travel to the length and breadth of this country. It's like going to a subcontinent. Like, it is a subcontinent.
Your experience and your profession changed because of COVID-19?
Not everybody handled in their own different way. I was like, let me pick the pieces, and I started blogging. It's actually the most unexplored part of India, and I think Indians should see it before malls and McDonald's come up there. I was like, why did we get down here? There's nothing here. I was not educated myself. Why are we here? And people don't know about that place, exactly that place. And I also, it's natural, you start shedding tears. So yeah, travel more, people, because the more you travel, the more you learn about your country. Hunter who once killed elephants have now been trained to become conservationists. It gives you a higher vantage point, and the ghats look even more grander and beautiful from that. And India is a backpacker's paradise.
Yes.
There's so many places it's been explored. It was pitch dark at 8 or 9 p.m. I don't remember. Ahmedabad was 2 hours away, and after waiting for 1 hour, I got a lift from a stranger. They didn't even want money. Destiny chose me to be a traveler. I had no plans. I used to be scared to go from Lucknow to Kanpur, which is only 1 hour away. And right now I'm traveling the world. So.
Thank you, Mr. Abhinav, for joining on today's episode of Stitch India's podcast. Happy to have you here today and hope that this is going to be an enjoyable session for you too.
We're happy to be here as well.
So before we get started, I always like to let our guest introduce themselves. So to our audience, how do you want to portray yourself, and give a few words about the work that you do and who you are?
So hi everyone. So first of all, I'm Abhinav Singh. I started out traveling solo in India in 2008. So that was a spiritual reason. I will talk about that later someday. But it was a very slow and organic progression towards travel. I think Destiny chose me to be a traveler. I had no plans. I used to be scared to go from Lucknow to Kanpur, which is only 1 hour away. And right now I'm traveling the world. So I think I was chosen for it, and I think I'm blessed because not many Indians. We live in a huge nation with a lot of people, and very few get to travel so much. So I think it's a blessing. And for the past 15 years, this year only, I completed 15 years of traveling in India.
Wow, congratulations.
And I completed, thank you. And I completed traveling in all the states of India. Just 1 month ago, I finished Mizoram and Tripura. So it's the first podcast I'm doing after that. So yeah. So that's a big milestone for me personally. But I didn't want to rush into seeing India because these days I see people are finishing India in 2 years. I did want to do that. I wanted to do it over a long period and slowly and organically. I didn't even had a plan. I just did as it happened. So yeah, that's been my journey. And in around 2014, so I was people leave their job for travel. I was fired from my job because I was traveling too much. So my boss said, I love the way you travel. I think you should travel more. So he fired me saying this. Yeah, that's my journey. And then I've been blogging since then.
Okay, so thank you so much for giving an insight into that. And on that note, we also know about this story of resilience that you had to encounter before you began traveling full-time as a travel blogger as well. And so how you were able to turn a critique that I guess a lot of people who are passionate about traveling receive, which is that sometimes people might say you travel too much, but turning that critique and that criticism into something else, something positive, and using that to your benefit as something to pursue. So on that note, what's one journey that you've gone on that seemed impossibly challenging at the beginning, but you kept persevering and going through to it, and you had a fruitful experience at the end. So if you could share an experience on that.
Uh, I would say I'm not sure which is the most challenging, but the most rewarding I would say is Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. And when I was chosen, I didn't plan that trip. I was chosen for that trip. Until then, I thought it's just a trek. I had no idea about the spiritual significance of that journey. And even during the journey, I had no idea what I am going through, what this journey means. But on the final day, not final day, towards the midway of the parikrama, I sat in front of Mount Kailash and I just meditated. I didn't fold my hand. I didn't do any drama, nothing. I just sat there and meditated, and I was crying. I don't know why. I cried for half an hour. So that was the most rewarding, not challenging. It was not like very tough thing to do. I've done Everest base camp earlier. That was tougher, if not uh, if not scenic, and not only scenic. That was tougher. But yeah, this one I think changed my life both Everest base camp and Kailash Mansarovar changed my life in many ways. So yeah, these are milestone ones in my journey.
That's amazing.
And I feel blessed I was chosen.
Yeah, and also I think recently on August 9th, on the topic of you being able to reminisce some of the memories from your travels, I think on August 9th you posted a photo of yourself in Mumbai in 2008, and you were talking about how your journey started at the beginning. So looking back, what were some unexpected lessons that you felt that you learned and helped you open your eye up more towards India as this beautiful travel destination, and something that you want to share with everyone as well?
So earlier, when I was in 20s, when I started traveling, so like not every, like many people in their 20s, they don't like their country, they don't like their parents, they don't like their teachers. So I was one of them. I like my parents, but I had many issues with my country. It's dirty, so many people, so many this, that, crowds and all. But slowly, I think I started to realize these are the strength, not the dirt part, but the population part is the strength which makes India a shining example everywhere. Like we all know, people are seeing population decline in Europe, in China, and India. We have the youngest population. So these things I started to realize one step at a time. I used to question many things about my religion. It's so restrictive, this, that. And then I started to, because I visited many temples in South India and in Bhubaneswar, in many places. And then I realized that Hinduism is more about like scientific religion. So in a way, I was an atheist. I started converting back to being a believer. So
Wow.
that's the one thing travel has done to me. And more than that, I have started falling in love with my country. Like today, I see many travel vloggers, they travel across the world. They don't travel in India, they travel across the world. Then they come back and discover something new in India and they're surprised. And I'm, I'm a bit amused because I always wanted to see India first, than to see other countries because
Got it.
once you know what is in your background, then you appreciate it more when you see the other
Yes,
places.
absolutely. And also, I think in another Instagram post, you were talking about your latest travels in Northeast India and how some of your friends sometimes call you as the expert of Northeast India traveling. But you still have, I believe you said, a lot of places yet to visit. And so, are there any on your travel bucket list that you're thinking of exploring, and some reasons as to why you want to explore these places?
In Northeast India or elsewhere?
In Northeast India or maybe even elsewhere, it's okay.
So yeah, in Northeast India, like if you see the whole of India, I want to see uh, Andaman and Lakshadweep as of now because I've never been there. Two Union territories I've never been. And in Northeast India, I want to see the easternmost part of Arunachal Pradesh, like Dong, the place which gets the first sunlight, or Parashuram Kund for that matter, and Namsai. I want to see the eastern part of Arunachal. That is on my wish list, and the offbeat places in Nagaland. I love Nagaland because it's like going back 20 years back in time. So I
Yeah.
love that state. It's not good for the local people, but for me, it's because it's not developed much. So for me, it's a new thing. Internationally, I really want to travel to South America and Central America, followed by places in Africa and of course Asia. They're the most. These are the ones I'm most excited about. Europe also, but I feel somehow I'll find South America more exciting. But let's see.
And could you talk about uh, the way that you were able to describe how many nations exist in India? I think on the same post you use that
Yeah,
word and tried to talk about how there is a plethora of, you know, diverse cultures, languages, people, places, you know, coexisting inside of it. And so maybe you could you touch more on that aspect?
yeah. So when I'm not traveling, I'm doing a lot of research. So I was just doing some random research. How far is this place? How far is the capital of Portugal from the capital of Spain? It was just 4 or 5 hours away. I was like, what the hell? Because in India, if even if we go from Dibrugarh to Kanyakumari, we'll take 72 hours by train. So
Wow.
we are a huge country. We don't realize it because in map they show some disproportionate size or something. Because Europe looks very big actually. In reality, is the smallest continent we have. So if you see, we have many states in India which are the size of Europe. Because I keep comparing the size of
Yes.
nations of Europe with the Indian states. And then I realized almost all of them, if not most of them, if not all, are the size of Indian states. And many of them are the size of Tripura, which is the smallest, one of the smallest states in India. So that was a good discovery by me this year. So it was an epiphany. So yeah, we are blessed to have that, and then I feel more blessed. I have been able to see the travel to the length and breadth of this country. It's like going through a subcontinent. Like it is a subcontinent. Yeah.
Yes. And through your travels, were you, I mean, were you affected by COVID-19 on your travel journeys in any way? Or maybe some stories that you have of how your experience and your profession changed because of COVID-19?
That's a very good question because not everybody handled it in their own different way. Some
Yes,
people, some friends I know, blogger friends, they stopped blogging. Some friends I know, they had some personal issues because we all know we all went through very bad
yes,
times. And some people just switched to Instagram. Some just switched to cooking. But for 1 year, I didn't do anything because of some problems at home. My mother also passed away, so I didn't work
sorry
at
for
all
your
for one
loss.
year, just mourning and those kind of things. So yeah, yeah. So I didn't. After 1 year, I was like, let me pick the pieces, and I started blogging, knowing very well it won't get any readers anytime soon. But I was hopeful. If not, if not in 21, not 22, maybe in 23, I'll start getting readers. So from 5,000 page views a month, right now I'm sitting at around 60,000 page views a month.
Wow,
And that is
that's
only
amazing.
because I've been writing without any expectation. Like the saying Gita, right? Do the karma, don't think about the fruit. And
Yes,
that works so beautifully for me. I didn't earn anything out of blog, but I was still writing, and that is helping me right now. So yeah, I
that's
didn't waste
amazing.
time. I didn't switch career. I didn't stop blogging. I did what I am passionate
Mm. I think I do have a question on that. So when you're like doing this as like a full-time thing, right? How do you decide which places to travel next? Because like entire world is your option, and even this goes for blogging too, right? How do you decide what to write about next? I'm pretty sure you'll have a very long list, and how do you prioritize amongst them?
So yeah, before I actually I'm a very whimsical person. I just pick my bags. Let's go to this and that. But right now I'm started doing more strategically because for blog it gets you more money, gets you more income if you target USA or the tier one countries, which is UK and Australia, New Zealand, USA. So if you get traffic from those countries, you get more income. So right now I'm trying to target that. Even with Indian content, you can target that. Like I have been to Jaipur so many times, so I will not go there, but I can still ride without going there. So personally, I would still want to go to places which might not get me a lot of money. For example, Andaman and Lakshadweep. It might not get me more traffic from USA, but I would still want to see it because I want to see it because I've always wanted to be there. So that is what keeps me uh, keep going in this travel blogging fraternity or whatever you can call it. Because
Mm.
had it not been a passion, I would have done something else, maybe tech or fashion or anything else. Because travel is a passion, that's why I choose destination as per my likes, what I might enjoy more.
Mm.
And that's
Yeah, I
awesome
think that's
because that relates to a
so.
lot of people as well, like everyday travelers, because a lot of them don't really have, don't really want to spend too much time doing strategic planning, but they still want to go to these places that they really want to go to and enjoy those places with family and friends. But what would be your advice on simple tips on how people can plan on places to visit in India? So what would be these small recommendations or suggestions that people should keep in mind when doing so?
Simple tips, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, my style of travel is very different. I'm mostly solo. I don't have much demands or requirements, so I travel very simply. But I know my friends, they travel lavishly, so for them it's a very different thing altogether. So yeah, if what I would say is ki, Northeast India is actually the most unexplored part of India, and I think Indians should see it before malls and McDonald's come come up there. It's at this rawest best. I personally enjoy Arunachal Pradesh more. So if you have a good budget, you should hire a car and move around circuits because Arunachal is very big. People don't understand. They think it's a small state or anywhere in Northeast.
Yes.
Tripura and Mizoram are the only small ones, but they are still very big. So just imagine the size of Arunachal. So you should do maybe one or two circuit at a time and always do a car because if you're traveling in group because public transport is very unfrequent. Like you'll have only one cab in 6 a.m. If you make it there, fine. Otherwise, you have to wait for one day. So
Yeah.
that is a problem in Northeast India.
Uh-huh.
So if you're traveling there, do with a plan and do a research. Read my blogs. I've written a
Yes.
lot of information. So yeah, do with planning.
Uh-huh. And I think there was a specific blog post that you made on your blog website. It was about your travel to Jharkhand. Uh, there was a specific paragraph where you were talking about Pahadi Mandir. And over there, you're talking about how there's a tradition of hoisting the Indian flag, and maybe a history that other people who come visit there might not know about, or the significance on that. So, what are such other places that you visited where you think people are a little uneducated about the history or the significance of the place, but you want to share with them the importance?
There are many, like in Ladakh, Rezangla, if you have heard of, it's a place in the middle of nowhere, barren land.
Oh,
So we were on a road trip across Ladakh. So we all got down. I didn't know. I was like, why did we get down here? There's nothing here. I was not educated myself. Why are we here? Then I saw that the elder people in the group, they were like, some were even crying. I was like, why are they crying? What is there to cry for? Then I realized it is where the battle between China and India happened. And people
oh,
don't know about that. That place, exactly that place. And I also, it's just natural. You start shedding tears at those places. I think more and more Indians should visit such places so that they will know what Indian Army actually is actually doing in the middle of nowhere in very harsh conditions. I could see the terrain there. I could see the mountain from where the attacking Chinese army must have come. So it was not very easy thing to deal with because we are at lower position, they're at a higher position. The
yeah.
higher person always gets an advantage. So yeah, there are many such places. Like even when I was going to Tawang, most people know only about Tawang. They don't know about the Jaswant Memorial, Jaswant Singh. So he
Mm,
was the man who battled China again in the 1960s, and there's a memorial devoted to him. I had no
uh,
idea about it. I discovered it by by just being there, by just taking that journey. So yeah, travel more people, because the more you travel, the more you learn about your country and the sacrifices your army has made, and many other things, like even the local people, their customs. Like for example, in Mizoram, they have a YMA thing. YMA is like they have an association in which if a crisis happens, for example, COVID, so everybody comes together. They donate money and help the person. Even in funeral, forget COVID. In a regular uh, in a regular day, if a funeral happens, they will, and the person doesn't have money, they'll contribute the money and make the funeral happen.
They
It's a
pool
very
money
good
together.
community thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have to pay a certain amount, which is very low per month. They have to pay around 250 rupees, something like that.
Okay.
But when a crisis happens, they all come together and help each other. And nobody knows about it. I didn't know either. I got to know only 1 month back when I was traveling there. So yeah.
That's very interesting. And on that note, I think in your blog post, you also mentioned how at the end of your blog, you talk a little bit about the conservation, the nature conservation and wildlife conservation of the place. So could you give us an example of an interesting fact that you heard about conservation in India, or an example of it?
Yeah. For example, I was traveling in Bodoland. It's again Northeast. I love Northeast, so I have a lot of stories from it.
Okay.
So it's towards the border with Bhutan. I crossed the border without visa. So yeah, we met some conservationists there who were once hunters. They used to hunt elephants, and I met people who had chopped hands. They have only one hand,
Oh.
and the same people have now been sensitized and educated to become conservationists. So the hunter who once killed elephants, not for only for money, they didn't want to eat their meat or something. Only for money, they get money for killing elephants. And the same people have now been trained to become conservationists. So personally, I'm very passionate about. It's a good thing you brought this up, because I'm very, very passionate about uh, animal abuse, wildlife conservation.
Yes.
Because one thing which is very common in India, we abuse elephants and camels like anything. We, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. These are the three countries who abuse elephants, even tigers for that matter. A simple thing like a temple, an elephant in a temple, an elephant in a circus or entertainment show is not done. I personally believe an elephant you can touch is not a happy elephant. If you can touch it, it's not a happy elephant. Let them be in wild, find their own way. But yeah, people will come to defend that also. So there's no end to it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I try my best to bring awareness towards it.
Uh-huh. And that's awesome. I think, over the years when you have travel as a profession, and you get to see and live through all these experiences, you see an evolution of India as a travel destination, and you're able to look at the strengths, places of improvement that are yet to come. And so, in your opinion, what do you believe are the strengths of tourism in India? And what are the steps do you think that we need to take in order to be a top destination, tourist destination in the world?
So I have been to around like 14 countries in 3 continents, and the good
That's
ones.
incredible. Yeah.
I've seen some of them have attractions which are not as good as India. Some are good as India. But what they have is a good sense of cleanliness and infrastructure. We also have, like, for example, if I went to Patadakal and Badami, it's very well maintained, clean space. But Aihole, ancient temples, like 6, 7 centuries old temples, they were just left open just like that. Anybody can, goats were roaming around freely, they were pooping around. There was no security guard, nothing. We need to value it, because I've been to countries whose oldest, I'll not name it, but whose oldest building is like 20th century or something like that. And they take so much pride in showing that. I was like, dude, we have buildings like 2000 years old building. We don't take care of that. And I was in Shymkent just last week. I was in Shymkent in Kazakhstan. Beautifully maintained. And nobody even knows. I didn't know the name of the city before I came there, because I was invited there. I didn't even know the name of the city. Beautifully maintained, clean roads, wide roads, and beautiful lighting done everywhere. It's very tourist friendly.
Yes.
And the shocking part is these things take such less money, and we still don't do it. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lack of will. It's a lack of being travel smart. You have to attract tourists. You don't have to shoo them away with the
Got it.
dirt and squalor everywhere. We don't have, because I travel with female bloggers sometimes. They're like, go, is the toilet clean? I was like, I don't know, male part is good. I can't check female toilet. And because my sense of judgment is different, theirs is different. And most of them complain the toilet is unusable, it's not clean. I've never been, but that's what they have told me. So yeah, we have to work on toilets. We have to work on. Uh, I think we should make pedestrian only zone at tourist attractions. So if it is,
Yes.
for example, Aihole, no vehicle should be allowed till maybe 500 meter or something like that.
Yes.
And we should beautify it, gardens, lighting, something like that.
Yes.
But mostly we are doing good. It's not that we are doing bad only, but yeah. And we have to show the touts away because, but that is the problem with other countries also. In Jordan also, I have been chased by touts. So yeah.
Yeah, I think when you were talking about having places that are free of traffic, so that people can enjoy the destination better. There are also parts of India that are more unexplored, and so it's really about maintaining. I think sometimes the challenge comes in maintaining the authenticity of the place. The trails that the locals have walked through, and their communities versus providing also the architecture and necessary resources like you mentioned for travelers to use there. So I think that's always going to be a little bit of a challenge for us to develop some of these places.
Yeah, sure. I would love to give one example. Like I was in
Yeah.
Varanasi last November. So it's an ancient city, right?
Yes.
So there are two camps. One say that cruise is destroying the ancient part of Varanasi.
Yes.
But personally, because I'm sure these people have never taken the cruise. So personally, I love the cruise because it gives you a higher vantage point, and the ghats look even more grander and beautiful from that. So I don't think it will do much damage. But yeah, there are two camps: one which would hate cruise in Varanasi, one which would like it. So I personally believe they have done a very good makeover of the city while still keeping the ancient atmosphere of the place alive.
Uh-huh. Yes, and I think in a recent post when you were talking about Kazakhstan as well, I believe you celebrated India's independence over there. I did see the photo of you holding the flag over there. And so what would be your advice for people who are coming from, places outside of India? You did give suggestions for people within India on how to travel, tips on transportation and things like that. But people who are outside of India, what do you think are the best places for them to visit? And would you recommend to them more of these unexplored places or more of the touristy places, in your opinion?
So yeah, that's one thing I'm very passionate about actually, because I see the biggest of international bloggers and Instagrammers and YouTubers. They come to India, and even they stick to just three places: Jaipur, Delhi, Agra. So that is the idea of India. And even now, I'm shocked because there's so much information out there. So yes, please see that, but see more beyond that also. Uh, like not many people, not many foreigners actually visit Himachal and Uttarakhand, which is just close
Uh-huh.
to Delhi. There's so many places, like even Bhavishya Badri. I just got to know about it few months ago. I mean, and India is a backpacker's paradise. There's
Yes.
so many places you can explore. Northeast India, people don't go there because there's no information. Although I've written so much blogs on it, but they are still not sure about what to expect when to visit Northeast India. Some people do visit. I travel with foreigners in Northeast India a lot. But yeah, there's some misconception, and they don't know how to apply for PAP. There's a inner line permit. Foreigners also have to take, but it's actually
Uh-huh.
very easy. But the thing is that keeps them away. Yeah. So yeah, I think the foreigners should again move to Northeast India and even Uttarakhand. or even South India. Then Andhra Pradesh is very least explored states of South India. Most people go to Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, but even Kerala for that matter. But Andhra is not explored well, even by me. It's my least, one of the least explored. I've been there, but very least explored states.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there are a lot of places. Punjab for that matter. Hardly any foreigners go there. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why. I went to Hola Mohalla. It's a grand Holi celebration. Nobody even knows about it.
Oh,
Even
okay.
Indians should go there. Foreigners should go there. Grand celebrations. Like people
Uh-huh.
with huge turbans and they are waving uh, their weapons, or I don't know what to call that.
Uh-huh.
It's
And what's
very
the celebration
unusual
about?
experience. Hmm?
And what is the celebration about?
Holi is a Holi celebration. Like every Holi, they
Okay.
have this Hola Mahalla festival
Oh,
where they
okay.
display their military expertise and their culture. It's a very unusual thing. Still, nobody knows about it. Not many.
Uh, I didn't myself not know about that actually. I haven't heard of it before, but yeah, thank you for bringing it up and sharing it with us. When you were talking about how some of these in unexplored places, people don't really have the resources, the information that they need, and they really need somebody as close to as a local as possible. And what we do here is that we provide travel services directories as well to people, and we have a wealth of information that's been added about these places, some of these unexplored places, by locals. And so, your thoughts on that as a service that can be provided to tourists?
Yeah, I think that's a very good initiative because that is what is lacking in the market right now. I'm an explorer, so I dig this information, but
Yes.
most regular clients, they are people who book trips. They won't take so much effort. So if you are providing them everything under one platform, so it's very useful for the people who want to book such trips and have no clue how to go about it. Yeah, I
Yes.
think it's a good initiative.
Thank you. And I think we'll be, going into the rapid fire round, so the last 5 questions that I'll be asking. So you can take some time to think about it, or you can be as fast as possible, no worries.
Okay.
But yes. So first question, what is your favorite way to say hello in any Indian language, and what language is it?
I think namaste is good because
Namaste?
uh, Nepalis do a lot of namaste. We have forgotten how to do namaste. So if a European person comes to Nepal, they'll always do namaste, but in India they
Yes.
won't do that. We
Uh-huh.
need to do more of namaste. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We
Okay.
need to market namaste. Yeah. Yeah.
And number two, could you give one reason on why someone should travel to India?
Because of the sheer variety. I mean, it's a cliched answer, but the kind of variety we see. So
Yes.
if I am going to Australia, things are not going to be as varied. If I'm going to even Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan, they won't change as drastically as it changes in India, even USA for that matter. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, we have the most blessed nation when it comes to variety.
Uh-huh. All right. And third question, what's the most memorable city that you've visited and why?
Mumbai,
Mumbai.
I just love Mumbai. There's no
Uh-huh.
second thoughts here. Why? Because of the people, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's a decaying city. It's a city on a decay. It's not a ideal city to live in, but the people are so good and so nice, and the culture is so good. I love it.
That's awesome. Number four, what's a kind gesture that you've received from a local, maybe when you least expected it, and what kind of impact did it have on you?
So I was struck. There's a place in Gujarat called Nal Sarovar Sanctuary.
Uh-huh.
I was stuck with no vehicle. It was pitch dark at 8 or 9 p.m. I don't remember. Ahmedabad was 2 hours away, and after waiting for 1 hour, I got a lift from a stranger. They didn't even want money, so that was yeah.
Oh,
I learned to trust people in the darkest of corners.
uh-huh. That's really nice. Um, and lastly, fifth question. I think you gave a lot of tips for people traveling to India, but once again, could you provide one important tip that you think everyone should know, whether they're coming from outside India or within India? One tip for traveling in India.
One tip for traveling in India. There are many actually, so I can't pick one. But yeah, try our food. Don't miss out. Don't eat your pizza and burgers.
Okay.
Try
Hmm.
eat local food. That will get you active. That will keep you active, and you'll enjoy. And make friends with the local people, because we have the most friendly people on the earth. That's what
Yes,
my
absolutely.
foreigner friends also have told me. Yeah, make friends with the locals and be open to new places. Don't stick to the old behemoths or the established places. Open to
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. And I think that's going to be easing into the end of this podcast session. So thank you, Mr. Abhinav, for joining us today. We learned a lot about the places that you visited, and also hopefully our audience gained a lot of tips from you as well on how to be solo traveling, backpacking, traveling in India. So any last few words that you want to give to say to our audience?
Yeah. Finally, I would like to say that don't be in a rush to stay in India. Don't be rushed to stay in India. Maybe try and explore places near you. So if you're in Delhi, try to see Rajasthan and Uttarakhand first, then move to other parts, move to Northeast, or whatever suits you actually. If you have lots of money, just go to the most furthest place first. So it doesn't really matter. But travel, get out of your home. Don't sit at home.
Yes.
The more you travel, the better it is for you. And don't worry about the age. I think it's a myth that you are young, travel first. Even if you
Uh-huh.
are 60, even if you're 70, my Mosi, she came from USA with 7 bags. I told her,
Wow.
you are my inspiration. I want to be able to travel till 70. So age is not a matter. Travel as and when you can to any part of
Yes.
India, and you will love it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your words of advice. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experiences today on the second episode of our podcast. So again, you were one of our earliest guests on our podcast. So thank you so much for coming here today. And hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. It's an honor to be part of this new initiative by you. And I hope your podcast fly away from here on. And I hope to
Yes.
see more of your podcasts with other travelers. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Abhinav.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Stitch India's podcast, where we share engaging travel experiences in India by people from across the world. You can stream our episodes now on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more. You can also read more about Abhinav's adventures through his engaging writing and photos on his blog, A Soul Window, and on Instagram with the same handle. Both are linked in the description.